Welcome back to part 2 of the decks I'm doing at the minute, the 1970. Anyway, let's get busy on it. Let's get it stripped down and all boxed up. Right folks, I've got a plan. On this bike here we have the catch there, which is the seat one. Well, on this stacks there's one missing to hold the seat. So I was hunting around, looking about, trying to save some money, because every penny counts these days, as it always does. And I'd got this cub seat, and on the cub seat was this bracket, which I've taken off, eyed up to the one on the decks, and the only difference is this bar comes out the wrong side. It fits like that. I reckon if I grind this little pin out here, take that out, take this out, put it in this side, that'll work exactly the same as the Dax one and save myself a few quid. So I'm going to have a play around and I'll show you what I mean. On the Dax, this one here, as you can see, I think it's identical, bar the arm comes out the other side. So like I say, if I take that arm out, take that pin out, put the arm in the other way, straighten the arm a bit, that'll do the job perfectly. So I'm going to have a play around and see what I can come up with. I'm going to get that rivet out first, see if I can drill it out. Right, leave it with me a minute. Right, I've drilled that out, pulled it out. Now my plan is to put it that way on, so it comes out the right side. Drill another hole here to match up with the hole in here, but I've got to straighten this bend out. So I'm just hoping I can warm this up, fold it out without it breaking, and we should be winning with it. Right, let me have a play around. Had a play around, that's what I've come up with. Straightened it the best I can, used a split pin instead of the rivet. Use what you can. Right then, we'll slip it on and see if it actually works now. I even managed to save the rubber. There we go. That'll look great if it works. I'm pretty confident it's going to work. Right, nicking the catch off that to use on the Dax. That certainly looks like it's going to work. Now, looking at that one, we have rubbers here and here. This seat hasn't got any, but I've just been looking at this one. Now this one has got the rubbers on it, so I'm going to pinch them off there and stick them on the Dax seat and see if it'll work. Right then, back in a sec. Right then, managed to get one of the rubbers on, but the seat base is that far out of shape. As you can see, it's knackered. But all I was interested in was getting that on there and seeing if that would work and save myself a couple of quid. So there we go. Let's lock the seat down. It's done exactly what I wanted it to do. Just undo the catch. It's hard to do everything one-handed. There we go. That works a treat. that'll do me. Job done. Well happy with that. Well, still playing around with this old girl here, and someone had made the stand for it, which is really bad. It won't stand on it properly, so I'll show you. This is what they'd made as a side stand, and it's awful. It's absolutely horrendous. Someone's bodging worse than me. I'll show you. This, the state of that. Anyway, I need another stand. That's not going to work. So what I've got is this one off a cub. So I'm thinking, if I cut this off here, cut this all off, refit it to that one, at least I'll have me bits that fold up, and a side stand which should look like it should be on there. So I'm gonna have to, like I say, cut this one off here and weld it onto this one. So I'm going to crack on with that and see what I can come up with. So I've had a little play around, used a bit of glue on it, liquid metal glue, and that looks pretty good there, like that to me. And put that down, and there we go. That'll be fine, that will, when it's all painted up. Just making some new fixings up, some nice new clean ones. I'll put them last two in now, put some washers on. I think that'll be job done. That'll look great once it's all been blasted and repainted. One less job. Right, I had a bit of a tidy up and started without you. Took the chain guard off, took the seat off, took the chrome strip off. I think I'm just going to start working my way around it and boxing everything up. That seems like the right way to go. I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm just going to start pulling bits off and boxing them up. Right, what should we take off next? I don't know, maybe have a look at the petrol tank and all round here, and just keep bagging and tagging. Well, moving forward with it, tank's out, tank's on the side. I think the handle's coming off next, maybe the exhaust neck after that. I'm just going to keep just taking bits off as I come to them. Right then, I'm carrying on. Well, that don't take much to get that out. 2 bolts, one there, one there. Undo this wire connector, undo the slide, spark plug cap, and that's it, it's out. Dead simple. Right then, I think I'm going to take this stand off here now and maybe have this casing off here. Just want to check this engine over. Right then, I'm going to push on, get this foot pegs off and put on. Right, I pulled the casing off. I just need to check in here, which is a centrifuge, you know what I mean. But these screws here, these ones here, was a right bastard on the last time. I freed this one off. I need to get them two undone and I'll show you then. Right, took a bit of persuading, but as you can see in there, all this crap. Now this ain't going to let your oil go around your engine as it's supposed to. So I'm going to clean all this out, and hopefully then we'll get good oil circulation. So, but look, as you can see, it's the thickness of that. People just change their oil and don't bother cleaning all this. So that's what I'm going to crack on and get this sorted out. That was my biggest worry of getting this apart after the last one. Well, as you can see, we'll clean it all up and hopefully we'll get good oil feed to the head. Well, I don't know if you can see that, how thick it is on the case there. That all needs to be cleaned off. Right, I'll crack on with it. Right, that's all cleaned out. You can see how much crap's come out of that. There's probably a little bit more I can get out there. I'll just keep going round, cleaning it the best I can. But we should get oil feed now. So, right then, let's crack on a bit more. Well, I'm satisfied with that now. That's all cleaned out. That's one job I wasn't looking forward to, because again, them screws out. But yeah, we've done it now. Let's get it back together. We can stick it on the side, forget about it for a while. So, sticking this casing back on, and these are absolutely mullered, some of them, like this one, if it'll focus, like that. There's a real game to get them out. But what I have got is some of these. Might not be correct, but it's a damn sight easier to get these out than that. So I think I'm going to go with, I've got quite a few. I'm just going to go around and swap them. There's two long ones here which I haven't got. There's one there and one somewhere else, but I'll see if I can pick something up for that. As you can see, they're all mullered, no good. Might as well swap them. Right, I put it all back together, and I thought, I don't remember seeing a spring there. And what it is, the spring is underneath this bit here. I put it together wrong, but I pulled it apart. I spotted my mistake and put it right. I can get it all back together again now. Right then, she's back together. I suppose I better crack on with doing something else. Better crack on with taking this apart still. But there's certain things that drive me mad, like that engine. I knew I had to check that first. This I can take my time with, just taking it apart. This engine anyway, I'm going to have it apart again. Put new gaskets round it and stuff. Try and tidy it up a bit. We'll carry on with just pulling this apart for now then. Well, took the headlight out, started disconnecting everything in here, and it seems pretty basic compared to some of the stuff I've worked on. That's for the headlights. That's for your brake switch on your handlebars. Disconnected the speedo drive out of there. Just undo these now, and hopefully the headlight bucket will come out and start feeding the wire and loom back through the frame. I've got to disconnect the coil, which I've got to line the floor, get underneath there. I think that will all come out in one, and then we can check that over, make sure it's working correct once you get it on the bench and play about with it. Right, let me get this headlight bucket off next. Well, that's the headlight bucket out, and I found out where that black wire went. That goes up to the switch up there, so that's coming off anyway. We're going to have a new switch on there, put the correct switch on there, because that's not correct. Someone stuck that on. So anyway, at least I know where that goes. Get that out of the way. We got that going to the horn, red and green, and in here what we got, 1, 2, 3, 4 wires that come up to the headlight bucket. So that should be pretty easy to sort out. And we got one here, which is the horn, which is on the handlebars. So I'm bound still to get it wrong anyway, but there ain't a lot to plug and play there really, is there? Right, let's start feeding it through the frame. Okay, so the wiring loom come out pretty easily. The only real thing holding it in was the coil, just one nut, and just fed it all through the back and down out the bottom. Pretty easy. Right, I'm going to start on this front end now. I'll try and get this horn off, and these are rusted to hell, so I'm going to struggle there, I reckon. We'll drop the front brake off, undo that. That'll release that handlebar, and that should be able to come out with everything on it, and then the same with the other one. Right then, let's get this undone. Well, we've got that all apart, but these, we've got to get these undone, and these are so tight. I don't know what I'm going to use to undo them. I'll just thread it on. I'm going to have to come up with something to grip it to undo it, but I don't know what. And then the fork should drop out. Alright, I'll have a think and a ponder and see what I can do with it. I decided to just drop the forks out as there was. At least we can work on them then, getting them undone. But yeah, the only thing left on it really is the badges. Wheels are all ready, they're got to come apart for blasting, new tyres. Yeah, I think we're about there. I've got a box full of bits. So I've got one big jigsaw puzzle when after it's done. Should be good fun. Right, one of the jobs I really want to get done is get this tyre off. As you can see, it's knackered. So we'll get this tyre off, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to get all this blasted, the frame blasted. I've managed to get the decals off that as well without breaking them, so that'll save a few quid. Right, so what we're going to do, I don't know, I suppose get the tyre off, and what should we do? When it's off, we can, well, it doesn't matter, it's all going to be blasted anyway. But looking at this sprocket as well, not very good. Right, it's just going to cost a fortune to do it. Well, when was the last time you seen one of them valves caps? Let me get it off. I dropped it now. There we go. You don't see them anymore, the old metal ones. Lovely. With the valve key on it. That'll be cleaned up. All we use now is plastic. Which is rubbish. Right then, let's let the air out. Well, getting this off ain't easy, because that was rusted or bonded itself to the hub, well, the wheel. So you can see it won't come off. I'm gonna have to come up with a plan. I might just cut the tyre and then see if I can get it off this bead lock. So right, see if I can find a blade and cut it off. Well, as you can see, that's what I've done. I've cut it off so we can separate it. You can see why it won't separate with all the rust. So what I'm going to do, put a slit in and then see if we can peel it away, because there's no way it was coming off any other way. Anyway, I'll carry on for a little bit longer and show you the result. Well, that's stuck on, well stuck on. I think what I'm going to do is get the grinder out now and try and just nip through the steel bands and try and release it now. Yeah, I can't get it off, so let's get the grinder out and have a play. Well, that was a complete and utter bastard to get off. Resorted to the air chisel and the grinder to cut the steel bits. Now I've got it free, but wow, you'd never do that on the side of the road if you had a puncture. So yeah, only got the other ones to do now. Yeah, just hope they come across, get me words out, come off a bit easier. But yeah, that is, you look in there, rusted in there. Anyway, that'll come out alright once it's been blasted. Right, let me carry on with this and get the other one started and done. Well, that was one son of a bitch to get off. It's off now though, and you can see the rust that was on it, holding it. Now start again on this one, because this one's knackered as well. It's all cracked up when it's got air in it. So at least I have some idea how to get on with it now. Let's get this one done. Well, you gotta laugh. That one, they just come straight out. No messing, just slip straight out. Obviously I hadn't welded themselves to the rubber, so that saved me a bit of stress. Yeah, definitely that was so easy. Right, let's get on again. Right, that's it, it's all apart. Now it's all blasting, cleaning, painting. So I'm going to wrap this video up now until we get on to that side of it. So thanks for watching, subscribing. I'm Dan, I'm gone.